Welcome to section 15.2, part 3. This is the 159th session of the CISSP exam prep series. This part finishes the assessment tour by moving from finding flaws to actively exploiting them. In this session, we'll cross the line from spotting weaknesses to attacking them on purpose. We'll answer several questions. How do you scan the database itself? How should you manage what a scan finds? What makes a penetration test different? How much do you tell the testers? And how do you test your own defenses without a live enemy? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because a list of flaws is not the same as proof that they can hurt you. Picture a logistics firm sitting on a scan report full of yellow warnings, unsure which ones truly matter. A controlled attack cuts through the noise by showing what an adversary could actually do. On the job, this is how you move from theory to evidence, and how you keep testing from harming the very systems you protect. So how do you scan the database itself? With tools built specifically to probe databases and the applications that front them. Databases hold some of your most valuable information, and while firewalls usually block direct access, a database-backed web application offers a side door. Specialized scanners test both the database and that application layer for weaknesses, including the injection of malicious commands, and some can even exploit a flaw to confirm it is real. Guard the vault, but do not forget the clerk at the counter who can reach inside it. How should you manage what a scan finds? Not as a pile of alerts, but as an orderly workflow. It runs in 3 steps. First, detection, where a scan surfaces a possible flaw. Second, validation, where an administrator confirms it is genuine and not a false alarm. Third, remediation, where you actually fix it. By patching, reconfiguring, working around it, or adding a protective control. And you prioritize by severity, likelihood of exploitation, and difficulty of the fix. Find it, confirm it, fix it, in that order. What makes a penetration test different? It does not stop at finding a flaw, it tries to exploit it. A vulnerability scan points at a weakness and moves on, but a penetration test actively attempts to break in and prove the flaw is real. This takes skilled people and focused effort far more than a routine scan. They follow a disciplined arc, usually described in 4 phases. Think of the difference between an inspector who notes a weak lock and a locksmith you hire to actually pick it. What are those 4 phases? First comes planning, where both sides agree on the scope and the rules of engagement, and the test is explicitly authorized. Then discovery, where testers gather information and scan for weaknesses, blending reconnaissance with automated tools. Next is the attack, where they use exploit tools to actually defeat the defenses, the step that separates a pen test from a mere scan. Finally, reporting, which summarizes what happened and recommends fixes. Plan, discover, attack, report, in a deliberate sequence. How much do you tell the testers up front? That choice defines 3 flavors of test. In a full knowledge test, you hand over detailed information, which skips the reconnaissance and speeds things up. In a partial knowledge test, you share some details to balance realism against cost and time. In a zero knowledge test, the testers start blind, exactly like an outside attacker probing for a way in. More knowledge means faster and cheaper. Less knowledge means more realistic. What could go wrong during the test itself? Quite a lot, because real exploitation carries real risk. A penetration test tries to break things, so it can knock a system offline or corrupt data along the way. That is precisely why the planning phase matters so much. You spell out the rules of engagement and secure explicit approval from senior management before a single packet flies. Never let anyone launch a live attack on a whim. Authorization from the top is the seatbelt for this whole exercise. How do you test defenses built for artificial intelligence? With a specialized practice aimed squarely at machine learning systems. As organizations adopt these models, attackers target flaws unique to them. Testers stage adversarial attacks to find these weaknesses, guided by frameworks and taxonomies made for this domain. They probe for tricking a model with crafted input, poisoning its training data, stealing the model or the data behind it, and abusing its capabilities for harm. A model can be fooled in ways a server never could, so it earns its own kind of stress test. How do you test your defenses without a live enemy? With a platform that safely imitates an attack. This kind of automated simulation plants harmless threat indicators across your systems. A suspicious file here, some beaconing traffic there, to see whether your controls react. It is not really attacking you. It is quietly checking whether your detection and prevention would catch a real intruder. When a control stays silent, you have found a gap worth closing. It is a fire drill for your security stack, run without ever lighting a fire. Why do compliance checks belong in this toolkit? Because regulated organizations must prove their controls are working, not just claim it. A smart approach maps every regulatory obligation to the specific controls that satisfy it. Compliance checks then verify, on a regular schedule, that each of those controls is functioning and meeting the requirement. Run them periodically, and you keep the compliance program healthy and avoid nasty surprises when a regulator comes knocking. It is the routine wellness visit that keeps a small issue from becoming a violation. So, let's bring it together. Database scanners probe the vault and the application in front of it. Manage every finding through detection, validation, and remediation. A penetration test goes beyond scanning to actually exploit flaws, moving through planning, discovery, attack, and reporting. How much you tell the testers sets the white, grey, and black box trade-off. And every test needs senior authorization. Round it out with AI-focused red teaming, safe breach simulations, and regular compliance checks. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.